Turkey is an international country that encompasses Eastern Europe and Western Asia, provides as a unique bridge between numerous cultures, making it as a fascinating subject for studying cross-cultural communication and negotiation. By understanding these cultural differences, they are essential for effective communication and successful negotiations with Turkish competitors. In Turkey, personal relationships constitute the base of economic transactions. The Turkish people place a high emphasis on the trust and connection. They frequently prefer to engage in personal conversations before diving into formal business related topics. So this relationship approach is most noticeable in family-owned businesses, which remain common in Turkey's commercial scene. And as a result, initial encounters are often focused on creating a relationship rather than discussing contractual terms or proposals. In Turkey, communication styles are generally indirect and nuanced. Turks frequently speak in a friendly but careful tone. They use a softened language to indicate disagreement or criticism. This indirectness stems from a cultural goal to avoid conflict and promote peace in interactions. And as a result, anyone doing business in Turkey should be prepared for a communication style that may initially appear less assertive compared to, but they grow more straightforward as relationships develop. Okay, what are the rationale for Turkey's relevance in international business and cultural diversity? Okay, first is a strategic location. Turkey's unique position at the crossroad of Europe and Asia has made it a vital hub for international trade. This location provides access to diverse markets, connecting businesses to Europe, the Middle East, and Central Asia. Number 2 is economic growth. Turkey has seen a significant economic growth with a young and educated workforce and a large domestic market of 82 million people. Its customs union with the European Union further enhances its attractiveness for foreign investment. Number 3 is a skilled workforce and infrastructure. Turkey boasts a young and increasingly educated workforce with 50% of its population under the age of 31. The country also offers excellent international communications and quality infrastructure, including a well-developed transportation network and modern industrial facilities. So these factors contribute to Turkey's competitiveness as a business destination.
Negotiating in Turkey is a unique experience, deeply rooted in the country's rich cultural heritage and business traditions. To navigate these negotiations successfully, it's crucial to understand the importance of personal relationships, trust, and the detailed, methodical approach favored by Turkish business people. First and foremost, personal relationships play a pivotal role in Turkish business negotiations. In Turkey, business is often intertwined with personal connections. Unlike some Western cultures, where negotiations might focus strictly on the business at hand, Turkish negotiators place a significant emphasis on getting to know their counterparts on a personal level. This approach stems from a deep-seated cultural belief that trust and mutual respect are the cornerstones of any successful business relationships. Establishing trust is the first step in Turkish negotiations. Before diving into the details of any business deal, Turkish business people prefer to build a strong rapport with their counterparts. This involves in spending time together in informal settings, such as over meals or coffee, where conversations might initially revolve around family, interests, and general topics rather than business specifics. These interactions are not mere formalities, but are essential to setting a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. Once a personal relationship has been established, negotiations process in Turkey can begin. It's important to note that Turkish negotiations are typically methodical and can involve several rounds of discussions. This process may seem lengthy, but to those accustomed to quickly negotiations, but it reflects the Turkish business culture's value of truthness and persistence. In these discussions, Turkish negotiators often display a high level of detail orientation. They prefer to explore all aspects of potential deal comprehensive to ensure that both parties understand and agree on every detail. This meticulous approach helps prevent misunderstanding and foster a sense of security and confidence in the agreement. Another key characteristic of Turkish negotiations is the emphasis on finding win-win solutions. Turkish business culture values collaboration and mutual benefits. Negotiators aim to create agreements that are advantageous for all parties involved. This focus on equitable outcomes helps build long-term partnerships based on trust and shared success. To achieve win-win solutions, Turkish negotiators often engage in creative problem solving and are willing to explore various options and compromise. Given the detailed and methodical nature of Turkish negotiations, patience is an essential quality for success. It's important to approach negotiations with understanding that the process may take time. Rushing or pressuring Turkish counterparts to expedite discussions can be counterproductive and may damage the trust that has been established. Flexibility is equally important. Turkish negotiators appreciate counterparts who can adapt to evolving discussions and are open to revisiting points as needed. This flexibility demonstrated a willingness to work together to achieve the best possibility outcome for both parties.
Good day, everyone. Today I will be discussing the typical bargaining behavior in Turkey, which is a country known for its rich cultural heritage and a unique blend of Eastern and Western influence. Understanding this behavior is crucial for successful negotiations as cultural factors significantly shape the bargaining dynamics in Turkey. So, let's move to the topic. The typical bargaining behavior in Turkey. First is importance of relationship. Okay, in Turkey, establishing a personal relationship is the key step before entering into any serious negotiations. Turkish negotiation place great emphasis on trust and mutual respect. So it is common to spend significant time getting know each other before discussing about the business, and for example socializing over meals, engaging in small talks about family is common in practices. Okay, for example, imagine you are negotiations business partnership in Istanbul. Before discussing the terms of the contract, your Turkish counterpart invite you to the dinner. During the meal, the conversation revolve around family, hobbies, and personal interests rather than the business. This isn't a waste of time. It is a crucial part of building the trust that will facilitate the negotiations. Only after several meetings and social interaction with the formal negotiation begin with a foundations of mutual understanding already in place. Turkish negotiations are known for their patience and persistence. Negotiations can be lengthy as a process often involve going back and forth on details multiple times. Concessions are expected, but they are usually made gradually, which party aiming to gain the best possible outcome. This patient approach reflects the value placed at trueness and achieving a fair deal. For example, suppose you are negotiating the purchase of goods from a Turkish supplier. The initial offer might seem high, and as you counter with a lower offer, you may find that negotiation drag on over several days or even weeks. During this time, the Turkish side may make small concession, reducing the price incrementally. It's important to remain patient and understand this extended negotiation period is a part of their strategy to ensure both parties feel satisfied with the final deal. Next, we move to haggling as a culture norm. Okay, bargaining or haggling is deep ingrained in Turkish culture. Whether in a local market or a business negotiation, it's expected that the initial offer will not be the final price. Turkish negotiations often start with high initial demands and expect the other party to counter with a lower offer. This stance of offer and counter offer is seen as a normal part of negotiation process in Turkey. For example, consider a scenario where you purchasing a large quantity of textile from a Turkish vendor. The initial price quoted may be higher than you anticipated. Instead of accepting or walking away, you engage in haggling, offer a lower price, and providing a reason for your counter offer. The vendor respond with slightly lower price than their origin, and this back and forth continue until you reach a mutual agreeable price. This haggling process is expected and a sign of engagement and interest in the deal. So, lastly is non-verbal communication. Um, Non-verbal cue play a significant role in Turkish negotiations. For instance, a nod or a smile might signal agreement, while a silence could indicate a disagreement or a need to think things over. It's important to be aware of body language and facial expression, as they can convey much more than words in Turkish culture. Okay, for example, during a meeting, you present a proposal to a Turkish business partner. They listen carefully but remain silent. Rather than interpreting the silence as disinterest, recognize it as a sign that they are considering your proposal seriously. If they maintain eye contact and nod occasionally, it suggests they are leaning towards agreement even if they haven't verbally committed yet. So, that's all from me for typical bargaining behavior in.
When one to talk about conflict in Turkey, a critical aspect for anyone engaged in business within this dynamic cultural rich nation. Understanding Turkey's unique approach to resolve disputes can make a significant difference in maintaining strong business relationships. Today, we focus on how conflicts are managed in Turkey, where diplomacy and harmony are highly valued. In Turkish business culture, conflicts are typically handled through mediation and dialogue rather than direct confrontation. The emphasis is on preserving dignity and saving face for all parties involved. In Turkey, the approach to conflict management is deeply rooted in a desire to maintain harmony and good relationships. Confrontation is generally avoided. There is a strong preference for resolving issues through peaceful and respectful means. Turkish businesses prioritize diplomacy in conflict resolution. When disagreements arise, they often turn to mediation, where a neutral third party helps facilitate a resolution. This method not only addresses the issue at hand, but also helps preserve the relationship between the involved parties. For example, in a typical Turkish business setting, when a conflict emerges, the first step is to often engage in informal discussions. These talks are designed to understand each other's perspective and find common ground. This approach reflects the cultural emphasis on empathy and mutual respect. The focus in Turkish conflict management is on finding solutions that allows everyone to save face. This means that the resolution should enable all parties to walk away with their dignity intact. It's about creating a win-win situation where relationships are preserved and even strengthened. Handling conflicts discreetly is another crucial element in Turkey. Business people will prefer to address dispute behind closed doors to avoid public embarrassment or lose face. This discretion helps maintain a positive business environment and encourages openness and honesty during the resolution process. You will often find that Turkish business meetings, where the conflicts are being discussed, are conducted in a private and respectful manner. This ensures that any sensitivity issues are handled with the utmost care, preserving the integrity of all parties involved. In Turkish, we believe that addressing conflict quietly and privately helps maintain respect and trust. We aim to resolve In Turkey, they believe that addressing conflicts quietly and privately helps maintain respect and trust. They aim to resolve issues in a way that strengthens their business relationships rather than causing further division. Moreover, showing a willingness to find common ground is essential. Turkish negotiators appreciate counterparts who demonstrate flexibility and a cooperative spirit. This willingness to compromise and seek mutual beneficial solution is a key to effective conflict resolution in Turkey. In negotiations, Turkish business people value partners who are open to dialogue and willing to work together to overcome obstacles. This collaborative approach is fundamental to achieving successful outcomes. Effective conflict management in Turkey hinges on diplomacy, discretion, and a commitment to preserving harmony. By prioritizing mediation and dialogue, Turkish business aim to resolve disputes in a ways that maintain dignity and strengthens relationships. For those engaging in business Turkey, embracing this principle can lead to more successful and enduring partnerships. Remember, the goal is to address conflicts in a manner that respects all parties and fosters long-term cooperation.
Decision making. Decision making style in Turkey can vary significantly between organizations. Turkish business is hierarchical and the management styles tend to be more top down. Managers tend to tell subordinates what they want to be done. Managing in Turkey may adopt an authoritative leadership approach, emphasizing the importance of hierarchy and clear direction. However, it is crucial to balance authority with participatory decision making to empower employees and foster engagement. First, building consensus. In Turkish culture, decisions are often made collectively, taking into account the opinions and perspectives of various stakeholders. Managers should strive to involve employees in decision-making processes, seeking consensus, and demonstrating respect for diverse viewpoints. Next, establishing clear expectation. Given the importance of hierarchy and clear direction, managers should provide explicit instruction, guidelines, and expectation to their teams. Because clear communication of objective and performance metric can help align effort and enhance productivity among the team. While doing business with Turkish, avoid using pressure to close a deal in Turkey because the Turkish do not appreciate hard deadline or being hurried. So while doing business with Turkey, don't be hurried and don't push Turkey too hard because they like that style. Decision making in Turkish can be slow
So we have to be prepared to meet them several times before negotiations begin in earnest, and to meet more senior member of the Turkish business later in the process. Proposal business documents should be clearly structured and presented in both English and Turkish for them to understand better. Social class distinction exists in business since the higher echelons generally come from the upper class. Managers often treat their subordinate as they would their extended family. What you wear and how you groom yourself are considered indicative of your seriousness. Subordinates are expected to wear their jacket buttoned up when in the presence of their manager or anyone above in the status. As mentioned before, in Turkish company, hierarchy is the way to exercise leadership. Respect for authority is important in making decisions with Turkey. High power distance between superior and subordinate does not allow for equality, neither in wealth nor in decision making. One man show prevail, thus there is less dialogue between the management and employees. The high power distance prevalent in the society makes democratic leadership in a rare practice. Furthermore, due to the huge inequality between managers and subordinates, most people do not even expect their manager to have a democratic style. In some sense, employees expect management to make decisions, but they prefer the manager ask their opinion first before making decision. The second most preferred style of paternalistic leadership is rooted in the patronage relationship of the feudal system. The leader would have a holistic and benevolent concerns for employees in return for absolute loyalty and unquestioned obedience. In traditional companies, decisions are typically centralized, made by senior leaders who hold significant authority. However, there is a growing trend in modern businesses towards a more collaborative approach involving input from various team members. Understanding the decision-making hierarchy is essential for successful business dealings with the Turkish. Engaging with the appropriate decision makers and respecting the organizational structure can greatly influence the outcome of your negotiations. So that's how you make decision making with Turkish, and that's how Turkish make decision.
Communication and negotiation are the lifeblood of any successful international business venture. But when working across borders, especially in culturally rich and diverse country like Turkey, understanding the subtleties of communication becomes not just a skill but a necessity. Turkey, a bridge between East and West, is a fascinating case study in how cultural nuance shape business practices. The country's unique blend of Eastern tradition and Western influences creates a complex communication environment that foreign investors and multinational corporations must navigate with care. So what are these communication nuances? To begin with, Turkey is known for its indirect communication style. Unlike some Western countries, where directness is value, Turkish business communication often relies heavily on context, nonverbal cues, and what is left unsaid. Instead of blunt no, you might hear phrases like inshallah, which mean God willing or we will see, or we will consider it. These phrases might sound positive, but often signal hesitation or a polite decline. This indirectness helps maintain harmony and avoid confrontation, which is highly valued in Turkish culture. Nonverbal communication is also crucial in Turkey. Gestures, body language, and eye contact all carry significant weight. For instance, maintaining eye contact shows sincerity, but too much can be perceived as aggressive. And did you know that raising your eyebrows with a slight head tilt means no in Turkey? These subtle cues are essential for reading the room and understanding the true message behind the words. Now, let's talk about negotiation. The Turkish approach to negotiation is deeply intertwined with their communication style. Relationships and trust are the foundation of any business's deal in Turkey. Before any serious discussion begins, expect to spend time getting to know your counterparts, sharing personal stories, engaging in light conversation, and even enjoy a cup of Turkish tea together are all part of the process. In Turkey, business is personal. Establishing a strong rapport is not just a formality but a crucial step towards a successful negotiation. Turkish negotiators prefer to start with the big picture, discussing broad objectives before diving into specifics. This approach reflects their high context communication style, where understanding the overreaching goals is prioritized over nitty-gritty details. Hierarchical respect is another key aspect of Turkish negotiation. Decisions are often made by senior leaders, and their opinion carries significant weight. Understanding and respecting this hierarchy can make or break a negotiation. It's also important to note that Turkish negotiators strive for a win-win outcomes. They value long-term relationships over short-term gains. So approaching negotiation with empathy and a collaborative mindset can lead to more favorable results. To summarize, when entering the Turkish market or engaging with Turkish business partner, remember these key takeaways. Focus on building relationships, respect their hierarchy, and aim for a win-win solutions. These strategies root in an understanding of Turkish communication and negotiation styles will help you navigate the complexities of doing business in this vibrant and dynamic country. Stay with us as we continue to explore the fascinating intersection of culture, communication, and negotiation in the global business landscape. This is your gateway to understand how to navigate the complexities of international business with cultural intelligence. As the global business landscape continues to evolve, cross-cultural understanding becomes ever more critical, whether you're negotiating a major deal or simply trying to build connections. Mastering the art of communication across the culture can be the difference between success and failure. And that's all from me. I'll pass to the next anchor.
So as we conclude our exploration of Turkey's business culture, it is clear that understanding the unique blend of Eastern and Western influences is crucial, from negotiation tactics and bargaining behaviors to decision-making styles and conflict management. In Turkey, successful business interactions hinge on the cultivation of personal relationships and the establishment of trust, both of which are considered essential foundations before formal negotiations can be begun. Decision-making within Turkish businesses is generally centralized, with senior leaders or key stakeholders holding significant influence, which underscores the importance of respecting the organizational hierarchy and allowing time for decisions to be carefully considered. Communication styles in Turkey are often indirect and high context, meaning that much of the message is conveyed through nonverbal cues and context rather than explicit language. Finally, management in Turkey is approached with a focus on diplomacy and the preservation of relationships, where the primary goal is to resolve issues in a manner that is mutually acceptable to all parties involved rather than pursuing an adversarial approach. These insights are invaluable for anyone engaging in international business. In our interconnected world, adapting to diverse cultural contexts is key to successful global business interactions. The lessons from Turkey not only enhance our understanding of this dynamic market, but also offer broader insights applicable across various international contexts. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Nur Alia Izzah binti Muhammad Azhan, and this concludes our special series. Stay tuned for more updates and analysis right here.